Hey guys, what's up, It's me, Tank Commander, I'm back. It is currently the 29th of December, 2018, and guess what? We're getting back. This is our last video for my safe driving tips. So, what are we going to do? Well, we have my list in hand, and according to the list, we are going through numbers 22 through 28 today. And before we continue, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with everybody you know, and let's get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers in the new year. So, without further ado, we are going to begin this vlog with number 22, and that one is correct braking. What do I mean by this? Well, everybody knows about the brakes in their car. Now, everybody's car is different with brakes. Some, like mine, which is from the year 2000, has some pretty sticky brakes when it goes off, but when you hit those brakes, you'll feel it. Now, as far as I know, there are two kinds of brakes on a car. There are brake shoes, and there are what are known as disc brakes. Disc brakes, which are on a lot of older cars, grip the inside of a wheel's rim to stop it. However, brake shoes pinch it from the sides, while disc brakes expand outwards. But that's not the point. What do I mean by correct braking is I mean something like this. If you know you're coming to a four-way intersection that has stop signs at it, you should try and understand that there is a terrible, terrible habit that people get into known as rabbit stopping. Now, what is this? Rabbit stopping is when you come to a stop, but you don't completely stop and you feel the jolt of the brakes. Rabbit stopping is when you come into the intersection, you slow down just enough, and then you take off again. This is a terrible habit to get into. I do admit that it happens to me a few times now and then, but still, you want to try and control this. This especially becomes apparent when you have a cop near the intersection, because if you get caught there, they're going to come after you and ticket you, because that's a driving violation. Also, when you are on the highway, you need to make sure that when you brake, if you are on cruise control, you want to tap your brake lightly so they first see that red light shine. That gives them an indication that you may be braking. Also, you don't want to wait till like the last second to brake, because that's either going to make you screech your brakes into a skid, or with your anti-lock brake system, your ABS, it's going to put a very big jolt in you. Or 3, the worst case scenario, you're going to end up in that person's rear end. Now, this also becomes apparent when it comes to the winter. And I can explain this because what happened a few days ago, Christmas Eve, is when I had to go get a birthday card for my aunt because her birthday is on Christmas. I was going to turn right onto another street, and I was hitting my brakes plenty early, but the car still slid. You gotta realize, there's a thing known as black ice. Black ice is very, very dangerous. And if you brake too late, you are going to skid and you are going to hit something. Like I said, I cannot stress this enough that everybody pays attention to this, because it is crucial for your driving. Safer driving is better. So, we take our pencil, and we check off number 22. And this we come to number 23. Do not cut across lanes. When you're on the highway, changing lanes is something that you have to do. If you remember what I said before about not going slow in the left lane, then yes, this can pertain to that. I have seen so many times where people have basically, and this is mostly when people are exiting to off-ramps. People that are either in the left lane or in the middle lane, and this is when there's 3 lanes, they'll literally cut across the whole highway and get into the exit lane. That is very dangerous because if you are not looking, you are going to either run into someone or almost cause an accident. And it's also the same when getting onto highways and switching to the left lane. If you remember before what I said about my trip to Pennsylvania last year, I witnessed a car go from the right lane into the left lane, and they cut a cop off. And the cop immediately put on his lights and pulled them over. That is why, and in that case you'd say, that's karma for you. You do something stupid like that, that's the consequence you're going to get. It's something you have to understand, people. You don't want to cut across lanes. You want to move one at a time and make sure the cars behind you know your intentions. And that goes back to my number 1. Use your turn signals. So, let's try and remember. Don't cut across lanes. Alright, so we check off that. And now we come to number 24. Pay attention to areas with kids. Now this can pertain to schools, blind child areas, deaf child areas, playgrounds, parks, you name it. Anywhere where there are kids, or especially if you see a sign that says kids at play, that means there are kids in the area, and if they get into the road, I don't think you're going to want to see the verdict when you accidentally run them over. I have seen this, again, in so many videos, and this is another thing, especially with schools. If you are on a school route and you are behind a school bus, see how many people you see that don't stop for the school bus, because kids are very delicate. Remember, the spark of life is too precious to be extinguished, and I don't think you want to be the one to extinguish somebody young's life. Frankly, I think that's all I can really say about that, because, well, that's the point. You have to watch for kids. You have to keep your eyes open, your head on a swivel, and your eyes moving at all times. So, now, we check that off. And we come to a very specific one, number 25, intersection stops. Now, as you may know, this does tie in with number 22. When you are at intersections, and this could be any kind of intersection that has, like, a traffic circle, a signal light, or just stop signs and stop lines, you have to realize that intersections are one of the most frequent places that you see accidents at. And where I live in Western New York, there's a place known as the Walden Galleria Mall. They have absolutely terrible intersections there. Probably you're looking at, including the turning lanes, 4 lanes each way. And that is particularly bad at the intersection of what is known as Walden and Union. Walden Avenue and Union Road. It is so slow there, and people can do stupid things in an instant. Especially when it comes to turning, like, especially if you are dealing with traffic coming, and there is a sign on the right, and this is for, like, people in the USA, that says, no turn right on red, that means you do not turn if there is a red light. And I'm sure probably in places like the UK, My friends from the UK could probably vouch for this, that there's probably signs that say no left turn on red, or something similar. Either way, you have to understand, stopping correctly at intersections can save people's lives. And I don't think I really need to say more about that. So, we are going to check that off. And now, we come to number 26. People, this is crucial. Number 26, do not flip people off. And yes, you know what that means. To put in a reference, I recite a little dialogue from the movie Good Morning Vietnam, starring Robin Williams. And he says in the classroom, as his character Adrian Cronauer, he says, and when a car comes over and he cuts you off, and you go, flip them the bird. Now what does that mean? Flip them the bird? That means you stick a certain finger up. And for those who have road rage, I think you know who I'm talking to. I personally don't know anybody who does this to people, but I have seen it in plenty of videos, and I have seen it in real life before. People, for God's sakes, don't be ignorant. Don't be stupid. Learn to control your temper. Don't be doing such things. Okay? Keep that to yourselves, but don't be flipping people off. Okay? That's just immature. And now, we come to the one leading off of that. Number 27, road rage. Yes, everybody has seen those videos of what is known as road rage. People yelling, flipping people off, actually getting out of the cars and getting into fights with other people. People, what's wrong with you? Do you have any self-control? You don't want to be making a bad example for yourself, let alone it be for other people as well. Understand this, people. We all have a temper, okay? And for those that do have a hot temper, are probably going to hate me for this, but you have got to stop. Okay? And I have seen this before. Mainly in videos. Some people with that bad of road rage who do this have gotten caught by the police as well. If you must, people, keep it to yourselves in your car. Don't show that you are aggravated to other people. Okay? Now, the simplest thing with that is, like, honking a horn or something. Okay? Don't get obsessed with it, because that's going to get you in trouble eventually. Remember, people, it's all for your safety. Know that. And now we check that off. And we come to one of the most important that I think people still don't know how to follow these days. Number 28. Do not race a train to a railroad crossing. When you come to a set of railroad tracks that has a pair of red and white gates with red flashing lights and a sign with an X that says railroad crossing, that is a simple thing you have to understand. A railroad crossing is for your own safety. Back in the day, a railroad crossing was nothing but an X-shaped sign or a stop sign. And the only thing that would warn you that a train was coming was the whistle blowing. People, if you're in a rush and you come to a railroad crossing that the gates are coming down, do not try to rush across. I have seen way too many videos of people trying to cross under those gates, or those who have tried to beat the train to the crossing and have narrowly survived either getting a near miss or getting clipped. People, I am a ferroequinologist. I have studied trains for years. You need to understand this. You are a human being weighing anywhere between 110 and, say, 210 pounds in a vehicle that is weighing no more than 3,000 pounds. You do not want to get hit by a train that is being led by one or more locomotives weighing anywhere from 80 to 150 tons. And that train in total has a kinetic energy with a combined weight of almost 10 million pounds. You are not going to win that fight easily. If you survive getting hit by a train, you are lucky. Or you have guardian angels watching over you. People, you have to understand this. An average train takes over a mile to stop. If you cross those tracks at the last moment, that train will have no time to react. No matter what the distance is, if they can see you on those tracks, it is most likely that your car is not going to survive getting hit. Because a train takes more than a mile to stop. I know a few people who have gone and literally hit their car's gas and literally jumped over railroad crossings. Okay? That's your risk, especially if the police are watching. But remember, if it's you against a train, you're not going to win in a collision. You're not. So people, don't even try to attempt this. And remember, this goes back to railroad safety that I learned before. A train may look like it's not approaching a crossing very fast. Well, once you see it go past at that crossing, that's when you realize it's going a lot faster than you realized. It's an optical illusion. So people, I close this out with saying this. For the new year of 2019, drive safer. It's for the good of all of us. No matter what part of the world you're from, Europe, America, Russia, Southeast Asia, India, Australia, Japan, you name it. It's all coming down to you. You need to make the better decisions. So you don't get a ticket. So you don't get in an accident. So nobody else gets in an accident. This is all we can say. And with that, folks, I close out this vlog of Tank Commander's tips to safer driving. And I wish you guys all the best for the new year. God bless us, everyone. And let's stay safe. And until the next video, peace out.